Hi, and welcome to another edition of TechBytes with Ron Nutter. This time I'm going to show you how to get an HDMI cable tester so you can save yourself some headaches when things just don't seem they're working right. And we start that now. Okay, well, sometimes things work better when you do the dry run than they do when you turn things on. Anyway, after doing the first Cabo video last night, had some response on it, and I think we need to kind of circle the wagons a little bit because I'm getting into some things that some of you may not have dealt with before. And that's these little gems right here. Or let's see, I got several. I got a whole rat's nest of them over here. And this is something when you've got one or two devices and you're plugged into the TV, well, that's pretty straightforward to deal with. You unplug it and you plug it back in and you can figure out that way. But when you start introducing a device such as the Cavo, or if you get an AV receiver that's doing your video switching for you, or you're doing both, well, now we've got several steps in the process to have to go through. And this is where I wanted to let you know there are some tools out there to make this a little bit easier. They're not always 100% foolproof, but at least it's an option. And I've got links to both of these in the show notes. There are affiliate links. I will get a small commission. So if you end up buying one of them, I really appreciate it. But if you don't think you need one at this point, hey, I've got that too. Not a problem. Now, this is the first one. And when I last looked up the price, it's about $17 and it's a 2-piece unit. And there's really no brand on it. It just says HDMI tester. Now, for those on the podcast, I'm going to try to do a little better job of describing this one. It's a very basic unit. The one thing that both of these have in common, and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, it uses a 9-volt battery. I'm sure there's a good reason, but it would also be nice if they could use, some AA's. Of course, I guess maybe that was the best power source given what they were doing, but it is what it is. Now, the reason for the two parts, if you're testing the cables before you take them out of the box, and I strongly advise you that because you may have them bad out of the box. So let's face it, when they're a few dollars a piece in some cases, it's not always going to be maybe the best made cable in the world. You only need the main unit. And let me switch over to demo cam here, and you'll see there's two, and this is the basic model. This is one for $17, and I apologize for the focus issue. It's not wanting to line up right. I'm far enough away it should, but anyway, you get the basic idea. It's two, and these are considered A-type ports, and that's important here in just a second. So this is all, well, helps if I get back on this camera. This is all you really need to test cables out of the box. Now, there's this one, and then there's the other one, and I'm going to show you just the main unit to make it simpler. This is one, it's called the NF622. Let's see, does it even have a name on the back? No, it doesn't, but I've got links to it in show notes. Now, this one is a little more advanced, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, you see this one's got 3 ports on it. Now, it was focused there for a minute. That's nice. You'll see that it's got, let's see if I can back this away. It's just not going to play with it. Anyway, you see there's basically the type A here and the type C. Now, before you start saying, well, I really don't need type C. Well, yeah, you do. I mean, because here's the deal. Most of the cables you need for the streaming media receivers are going to be your type A to type H, where it's got the same pretty good sized connector on both. That's going to be most of the cables you use. Where you'll get into the type C's, and I've got a type C right here. Let's get the, okay, yeah, I know after this video I got to do some serious cable management or find some shorter test cables. Now, this is a type A to type C, and you notice the much smaller connector. You'll only see that probably with camcorders, DSLRs, and whatnot. So you probably will run into those. Now, how much you run into them is going to depend. Some of you may not have DSLRs or digital cameras, but if you do, you're going to run into the Type A to Type C deal. Now, having said that, there are adapters available that will take a Type C to a Type A, but now you just introduced another bump in the wire. So if there are problems, you've now introduced another variable. And to me, it's just better to go ahead and have the right cable out of the gate to start with. Now, I'm going to hook up we'll just use just the main unit just to keep it simple. And I could get the cable hooked up here, and then we'll switch back over to demo cam here. Now I'm going to turn this on, and you'll see by default it runs a test right away. And if you don't like that, and this one is showing with the light that's kind of hard to see at this point, that is actually showing open. We'll run the test again. Now, an open doesn't mean that there's a problem, and here's why. As they say, not all cables are built alike. Well, that's like a lot of cars. No two cars are built alike. So it could be that to save a few cents in manufacturing, not all the wires are here. And this cable has worked fine for me for a long time, but it doesn't do all the signaling as far as if you try to run Ethernet over this, because some TVs do. Not going to happen. You may have some other quirks happen. So we'll go over to my my NF622, and we'll get the cables hooked up here, and we'll go back over to demo cam. We'll turn it on, and we'll turn it into master position, and then we'll tell it to test. Now again, now this is consistent, so sometimes it's not a bad idea to have two different testers. It does show it open, and all that's meaning is when it did a one-to-one check of all the wires, that it didn't have, it didn't see a complete pin report come across. Now, having said that, let me get to the other cable over here, because that one was kind of my one that I had flagged as being a possible bad, and it could be. Bad might be relative to the device that you're using. So let's shift over here I've switched to the other cable, and it helps if you press the right button. Of course, I'm trying to look in a reverse screen. Now, see, that one passed. All the wires lit up. Now, do you need one of these? Absolutely got to have. Well, no, but do you want to try to run a voltometer into those little wires? I know I wouldn't. So this one's $17. This one's about 30 or 32, depending on the Amazon price at any given point. Of the two, and I've got both, right now, because I've got Type A and Type C, I've got this one. Now, both of these have remotes, so that if you have a cable in place, so you've got it from the streaming receiver that's somewhere over here to the Cavo that's over here, it's handy when you have, and let me put these two back together, when these two can be separated. And then the nice thing I like about this one, case is a little bit better, but that's beside the point, is the fact that these two units can be hooked together. It's just a slide on and slide off. So that really does make life a little bit simpler. And it doesn't, do you need both? No. But let's face it, sometimes testers can act up. And this is where, if you are when you have to use 9-volt batteries, that's another thing that it can introduce a variable into the testing. If the battery voltage is low enough that it's not showing low, and this one, the power light here will start blinking if it's low. This one, I don't remember what it does. This one has a much better manual. That's worth something too. And I've got a question I'm going to reach out to support on this one anyway. Although I did chuckle, it says, please do not use on a live or PoE circuit. I've never seen an HDMI with PoE on it. So that may just be a standard sticker, because they probably produce an Ethernet unit just like this. So really, they're both good candidates. If you're only going to have the Type A's, yeah, you can save some money with this one. If you've got either like a Canon camcorder, Panasonic Lumix G7 or similar digital camera that has HDMI out on it, you're gonna have the Type C or C type. And if you've got a GoPro, you're going to be getting a different cable. I think I had to get a different cable for my GoPro. So it's a matter of where you see yourself at versus where you think you're going to be. This is definitely not a bad one to start with. It's like $17, well worth the money. But if you see yourself going to Type-C, or you're looking at getting that nice new digital camera, or you've got a camcorder that you'd like to hook into TV and play it back live, you probably want to get this one, because to test a Type-C with this one, you're going to have to get an adapter. And like I said earlier, that's introducing variables into the mix. So and for you, those of you listening to the podcast, when I say just the HDMI tester, that's the name it shows on the front. It says HDMI test. There is not a brand name on it, at least not on the unit itself. In the links, and you'll see in there that it is, like, it's about a $17 device. So for $17, that's not bad. I mean, it's kind of a go, no-go tester. If it's something strange, you may not see it. Where with this one, it does tell you a little bit more. The pins are all labeled. The manual that comes with it, the manual's in a safe place right now. Oh, here it is. Comes with a pretty decent manual. It goes through the different results you're going to get with the lights. Does a very good job at explaining things. And it also, and this is what really thrilled me, is it gives you a very good chart of the different pins and what their purpose. So if you have a problem that none of your cables are working, but yet you have, say, pin 16 is not showing up, and that's issue, which according to this is serial data, then that gives you something to go back to the manufacturer. Hey, it doesn't work, but I'm not seeing this pin. How many are you using? All the pins, or which pins are you more important? So you get the picture. The other device, there's the manual. Well, again, for $17, then that's, you kind of have to pick your poison. But both of these are good options. So if you've not seen my videos before, thank you for watching this one. Please hit the subscribe button if you want to know more about these videos, and then make sure you click on the little bell icon for the notifications. There are affiliate links in the bottom of the videos that will get you, get you directly to where I bought mine, because I did buy both of these devices, and I'm keeping both, because I've got some different purposes for each one that makes it handy. And especially if you're out shooting video live somewhere, or you're over at a friend's house trying to hook something up, being able to pull one of these out of your back pocket is nice. There's no two ways about it. So that is where we stand. You've already seen at some point the first book in the series. This has already been out now for, well, it's going on its second month. I'm working on volume 2, where you'll see some of the material in this one show up. And it's going to be an ongoing process. At this point, I've already got about another 100 videos that I've got penciled out to do as I come across different things. And there's always being more slid in, and sometimes I'll take some out. But I'm looking to you to see what will help you most. If you've got a specific project in mind, please let me know. I'll do what I can to help you with that one. And there's no one solution that's going to fit everybody. So this is something that's going to, having a tool like this, like I said, it beats going in with a voltmeter and trying to hit every one of those pins individually. It will drive you absolutely bonkers. And trust me, you don't want to go to bonker land. So thank you for your time and watching the videos. Hope this has been some help to you. And as you move forward with your smart home, there's all sorts of things you'll start seeing. If there's anything that you're not sure about, reach out to me. I may have already been talking to the company, or may have heard something that may help you. And I'm always glad to share, because at the end of the day, if I can help just one or two people, then we're all in a much better place. Thank you for your time. Again, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Hit the bell notifications, and we'll see you here in the next few days when I do another video. Take care now.